Friends 2. All right. We have a wonderful, wonderful surprise. We have Stephen with Word 66 with us. And I just want to kind of introduce you to us. And my name is Randy. I'm in Oklahoma City.
And I'm John. I'm in Topeka, Kansas. Normally Ashton goes right before me, so that threw me off.
Pleasure to be here with you guys. It's an honor and a privilege.
It's great. I absolutely love little happy little things that work out like this. This was meant to be, sir.
It's a beautiful thing.
So you are in Vegas. What is happening around Vegas? What's the scene like up there right now?
It is hot. So it's about 110 today here.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah, it's really super hot. So we're in that time of season right now, and I needed to trim my trees and stuff in the front, so I was doing that earlier today and sweating like you would not believe, and cutting all these branches and the thing that I was using, that chain kept falling off and
Hmm.
almost fell off the ladder a couple times, and it's been a good day. It's been
Good,
fun.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I totally get exactly what you're saying because we've been doing some work in our backyard where a tree had to come down. So I had to YouTube how to cut down a tree and make it not fall on your house. So, and I think we might have got a chainsaw that was a little too small. So it took a few more tries than what I was really hoping it would take, but
I get it.
it worked out great. It fell exactly where I wanted it to fall. But
Nice.
the worst part was we're like, okay, now we just need to chop it all down or chop it into little pieces and we can get rid of it. That's easier said than
Oh, yeah, for sure. That does not
this
sound
tree.
like fun. I absolutely despise doing any kind of work like that.
I Me too. If I could just put concrete out there in my backyard and just have the whole thing concreted, I would be a happy guy. this
I
this
gotcha.
mowing the lawn, trimming
Oh
trees,
man, you
forget
got
it.
actual grass, huh? Wow.
Oh
Yeah, everybody out here in Vegas, we all have rocks and stuff like that, mostly in the back. So
yeah,
the back is not an issue, but the front, of course, you have to make it look halfway decent. So, you
right.
know, but unfortunately, that stuff grows.
Speaking of rock, let's talk about your music a little bit.
All
Yeah.
right.
See how that was a segue from yard work to
Yeah.
rock and roll.
I didn't know we could even talk about music. This is great.
Let's let's
So
start, let's get a little bit of the history of how you guys got started and where you guys all came from and stuff.
So we started around the COVID time, and actually, so we are a Christian hard rock slash heavy metal band, and it was a calling for me to do this. I believe that everyone in this world has a purpose, and my purpose was to write this music to basically glorify God and Christ. And um, not everybody is into that kind of thing, but we are what you call a crossover band.
Hmm.
So we have been fortunate to get a ton of radio play in the non-Christian world as well.
Really
And
cool.
all but one of our songs have charted to number one all over the world as well.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And trust me, we just love music. Some people will be like, aren't you guys like a rock and roll podcast? And it's like, no, we just love music. I don't care if it's country. If it's good music, it is good music, and I don't
Yes.
care. We want to talk to you.
I love that. Yeah, I'm into all kinds of music. It's not the only thing that I listen to.
Hmm.
I love a lot of other things too, especially jazz.
Really cool. Really cool. So
Yeah.
what got you started?
So, as I mentioned, it was a calling for me. I've always been in bands, for many, many years prior to this, and it was a calling for me to just write this kind of music. And some people will call it gospel, but it's not exactly gospel because gospel music is a thousand times different from what we do, you
Hmm.
know, because we rock like every other band out there. The only difference is we always rock with a positive message. And I got a calling and I started writing this music. And we went into the studio around the COVID time and
Hmm.
recorded our first record, which was called On the Way to the Promised Land, which is actually based on the book of Exodus in the Bible.
Hmm.
And we put that song out. It was the first single, and it just really took off right away for us. And we were very pleasantly surprised and um, amazed that's the path that was set in front of us. And it was great, man. And it's been we haven't looked back since.
That's great. How did you guys all meet? Did you guys were you in former bands together or just the local music circle? Because I mean, Vegas is pretty hopping out there band wise
Ish.
ish.
um yeah, so I didn't have anybody in the band when I first started it, and so I actually put an ad out on. You guys familiar with Craigslist?
Yeah, I remember that.
Still out there, man. So we actually I posted an ad on Craigslist. I actually found my drummer that way, and then we eventually ran into Brian, who is the now the former vocalist of the band, and we put this thing together, and started getting uh, the music ready for the studio, and we got in and recorded our first EP, which was a 4-song EP. Now that you mentioned, did you guys know each other? Our drummer Lance Crane is probably my oldest friend. We've been in bands together, and I've known him probably since I was about 17. And so he's been on the last couple of records with us.
Awesome. Awesome. Nothing
Yeah,
like having a buddy with you that you kind of know which direction they're going to go. You just kind of feel each other out. So that's really cool.
absolutely. And he's got amazing chops, and it's always great to play with him.
That's cool. So, how do you go about writing the songs? Do you have a special songwriting recipe that you have, and uh, does it start out with just humming the song, or start out with a chord progression, or how do you go about writing?
Yeah, I'm usually just got my guitar in my hand and I'm just kind of messing around and practicing whatever. And then, how it is, and all of a sudden you just start playing something and you go like, "Oh, wow, that's really cool. And I need to be in writing mode for me to actually complete a song. So most of the time I just pull my phone out and just
Hmm.
record this little riff that I might have. And I've probably got like 3 albums that can be recorded now um,
Just piece
on
them
my
all
phone
together.
of all these little little dill dads and little doodle kind of things. Um, So yeah, eventually I get to those things, but that's how I start. And then I've got a pen and a paper, usually by me as well. And I usually write the lyrics when I'm writing the song as well.
Okay. Right.
And then I bring it to the guys and stuff. So I pretty much write all the music, and then I bring it to the guys, and then we just kind of mess with it. In my head, I've kind of got an idea of, how the bass goes and how the drums go. And I kind of, tell the guys, hey man, this is what I'm thinking, it should go like, and then we kind of just mess with it from there.
Really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try to get this to work. I'm gonna try to play 37 Miracles, the lyric video. How's that?
When you fail, Ashton's here now, so he can fix
Yeah.
it.
He's my safety net. That's why I felt safe doing this. Ashton's like, what are we looking up?
That's why I have a wire connected to my head right now, because my headphones aren't working right now. So these are my backups.
How's it going? What's going on?
Pretty
Oh,
good,
this-
Bob. Pretty good.
Good. I know I'm supposed to have headsets, but I don't. So so
No.
you're ahead of me.
Nah, it's all good. You sound good. And there's no echo. That's all we can
Yep.
ask for at this point.
Beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a beautiful
All right,
thing.
I'm gonna pull this up and see if we can get something to play.
All right.
Right. Absolutely. Look, I love it.
All right.
That is
We had
rocking,
part of
boy.
it. Okay.
We just
That
gotta do
is
a little
rocking.
teaser.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great.
They like to hit us with copyright strikes. It's like, your video has been blocked. It's like, gosh dang it.
Can't
Darn
win.
Facebook. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is some good stuff right there. That is some rocking stuff going on. So, who are your influences?
My main influence is probably Sabbath, man. I mean, I grew up
Right.
with Sabbath and I love them. And I think I hear Sabbath in my music. So Sabbath and Priest and if if you're going to talk about some of the Christian bands, there's some great bands out there like
Mhm.
Disciple and Thousand Foot Crutch and Skillet that kind of also are some of my influences as well.
I love 1,000 Foot Crutch
Oh,
and
God,
Skillet. Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask if you've taken a lot of influence from like 1,000 Foot Clutch, Striper, Skillet, things like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, absolutely. Great bands, man.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the perfect place to draw influence from and start your own thing.
Yeah,
Such
I was
nice
saying,
people.
for those who don't really know who we are, I was saying that we're essentially a Christian rock band, and that piece of video that we watched was it's called 37 Miracles, and a lot of people, even Christians, don't know this, but a little bit of trivia that Jesus actually performed a total of 37 miracles in his life, and that song is based upon that, and we mentioned about 15 of them in the song as well.
Oh dang.
Really cool.
So that
Yeah.
means there's still room for more. There's room for a part 2.
Part 2, yeah, that's a great idea.
All right, let's get it.
Make it into a concept record. We'll start it with that and we'll end it with that. Hey, very cool.
Ah, God,
Mhm.
yes. There it is.
That's
That'd be
exactly what I was
pretty
going to
sick.
say. Is Ashton's making a concept album for you?
That would be pretty sick.
You know, the other day I was chatting with a friend of mine, and all of a sudden it just hit me. I was like, I need some Pink Floyd, man. And it's like, so my favorite Pink Floyd album of all time is Animals. And talk about concept genius, man. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know how you guys feel about that record, but man, I just put it on and I was just digging it, man, because it starts, with the acoustic guitar and then ends with the acoustic guitar, and
Yeah.
it's a journey, man.
Oh yeah. That's one thing that they're freaking amazing at. I will definitely give them that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They put
Experiences.
you in there. Yeah, they put you in there. So you were mentioning that you're going to have another song coming out soon, and do you
Yes.
want to talk about that?
Sure. So we recorded a 5-song EP, and it
Mhm.
might actually wind up to be 6 before the actual EP comes out. On the last record, it was called Rock and Roll Preaching. We had this really beautiful ballad called How Will I Know? And it was just acoustic guitar and a cello, and our old vocalist Brian singing on it.
Uh,
And yeah, I mean, it did really well, and it's a really beautiful ballad. And I was thinking the possibility of maybe going back into the studio, and our new vocalist for this record, Carlos, is thinking about bringing him in and putting his vocals on there, and also bringing in like a viola player and a violin player, so we can get a little bit more strings in there, sound more like a full string section.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but anyway, like the next track is probably going to be called um, "I'll Be There," and that's actually a power ballad.
Okay.
So that's basically about God just talking to someone, saying, "I know that life is hard, but I just want you to know that I'm there with you."
really cool.
I like
Really
that.
cool. All right. But yeah, I've always loved Christian rock. I definitely doesn't scare me one little bit. Like we said, Thousand Foot Crutch, and I saw Striper at Rocklahoma, and I know for a fact when I lost a lot of the hearing in my left ear was
Oh no!
listening to Striper right up there, right? Because I mean, I remember it happened. I was like, boy, that's feeling tingly, but I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Too important to move.
I was just like, I know the exact time when I lost the hearing in my left ear.
Wow.
Like, honestly, you probably should have moved.
Oh my gosh. Did you
But it
just
was
really do
worth
that?
it.
In hindsight, yeah,
Yeah,
probably
Randy.
so.
I see what you did there, John.
Did a shameless striper
Honestly,
plug.
you should have moved. That
You
was
know,
pretty good.
Striper, if you guys aren't familiar, man, I mean, Striper is still out there,
Oh
100%,
yeah.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still putting out albums all the time. It's like they have a new album out every week, it seems, So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
um, these guys are continuously writing, and they're just a great band, man, and just a great influence, for all, not just rockers, but especially Christian rockers as well.
Yeah, great guys too. I know Oz has helped out a band from around here. They actually go to Vegas a lot. Does Oz live in Vegas? I know that they go out there a lot, and they kind of hang out with him. And they're a Christian rock band that we've had on here, and they've Oz has produced their album, so it was really cool and
Mhm.
just a great guy. He's going through some health issues and stuff like that, but just one of a kind, one of a kind.
I'm pretty sure Oz is one of those guys' uncles, by the way.
Oh, is it?
That would make sense.
Okay.
I believe he is. But I want to jump real quick, Stephen. I want to get the word out to the best place that everybody can go find any of your stuff that they're looking for.
We're pretty much everywhere. Of course, we're on the socials, your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter and stuff. So, if anybody out there is interested, please check us out, and don't forget to follow, man. Follow and
Hmm.
comment and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Um, but we're also on all of the major platforms. You'll find us, of course, on Spotify and Deezer and Apple and Amazon and all that stuff.
Really cool. Really cool. I love it. This is a great surprise. I am so glad you're with us, Steven.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's our the old vocalist is in the center there. You're passing him by. So.
Okay.
But this is the important part right here.
Give them some touring money.
Oh, for real. Put gas in their tanks, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have
Just-
any shows that you're going to be doing, or anything coming down the road that
A
you're
little bit
thinking of?
later on in the year, we'll be
Okay.
doing some short tours.
Really cool.
That's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. Do you have any idea around where, or is that still all up in the air?
That's still up in the air.
Okay.
We're talking to management right now. We're managed by PCM Management,
Mhm.
Okay.
which is Paul Crosby, who was the former drummer of Saliva for about like 20 years and stuff. So we're working on some stuff now.
That's
That's
exciting. I know
awesome.
he's got a lot of great bands that he's working with right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we should be shooting. I think we're trying to figure it out right now. We should be shooting a video for the next song. I'll be there probably within the next couple of weeks. So instead of just a
Nice.
lyric video, which we did with this one here, so we'll be doing an actual video. Of course, nothing is free.
Yeah,
Right,
those are
that's
so
true.
it's so expensive. It really is. You've got to decide and go, okay, let's pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure, man. And when you're doing videos too, I mean, some of these people, man, they don't know what to charge. It's like you talk to some of these people too, and you're like, yeah, we would like to shoot a video and like to find out, pricing. Well, we usually start around 20,000, and it's like 20,000
Oh
start.
God.
We'll never even see that money back, man.
Right.
Exactly.
I can go get a van for that much and
That's
tour.
what I was about to say. I was going to say music video or a touring van. I don't know what.
Right.
God, that is insane.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
it's crazy. It's crazy, but we have this guy that shoots our videos. A couple of them that are on our website. We have On the Way to the Promised Land. We shot that in here in Vegas, and they call it like the salt mines, and it's really just this big like wide open space in just in the desert. And On the Way to the Promised Land. If you're familiar with the book of Exodus, they were traveling through the desert, and that's where Moses parted the seas and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So, so we wanted to shoot that in the desert. So, yeah, that's the video right there. So we shot that there, and then the video before this last song called "Faith Is the Key," we shot at a place which was called Three Kid Mine, and this was this really cool place, man. It's like you see all this graffiti.
Uh-huh.
So it's this place where it's from what I understand history wise, it has to do with water or something like that. And there's like these three gigantic walls, round walls, and these kids, man, they just went nuts and they just like graffitied everything on these walls inside and out. And I remember going there one day and we were getting ready to shoot a video, and somebody said, "Hey, why don't you check out Three Kid Mine?" And I checked it out, and I'm like, "This would be a really cool place." And
Oh, that's perfect.
and it turns out we're definitely, I should say, the last band that's ever going to film anything there, because a housing development company took over that area, and they're just
Oh,
like they just flatten that down, and they're just building housing up.
Of course.
sounds right.
And it was funny because even when we were filming it, they were in the process of putting up fences and stuff like that, and they hired security, and so nobody was allowed to go in that area, and we kind of snuck in there, man. And it was during the summertime. It was so hot, and it was like probably like a quarter of a mile walk that we were dragging all this equipment and all kinds of stuff, and we almost got shut down, but luckily this guy that was there, I said, "Hey man, we're a Christian band, we're just trying to spread the word of God, man." And we just spent 2 hours bringing our equipment in here, man. I said, "Can you just give us like an hour or something like that?" And he was cool about it.
That's
That's
awesome.
good.
So it's documented right here in the video.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That
Uh-huh.
is awesome. Worth it.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Well, Stephen, thank you so much, and I apologize. This was totally my bad. I thought it was another week, but
Oh, no worries.
I'm so glad we got to meet you. And if you need anything
yeah.
from us ever, just shoot us a message. We would love to promote anything you've got going on. And if you have the new video out and you want to get it out in front of everybody, we'll definitely play it and we'll definitely share it. So
Oh, we'd
Awesome.
love to.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Maybe when we stop recording, if you guys can hang out for a couple of minutes, I got a couple questions for you.
okay.
That works.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we will speak with you in a little bit.
Hey guys, thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.